What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to H&J Talk Sports, back like we never left. It is Monday, January 3rd. This may be Ben Roethlisberger's last home game ever. Cue that intro. Let's go.
Here we go.
The Steelers will never be last in the league and running again.
It's a good time to get hot.
Holy crap, guys. That's pretty cool.
And a Rabu.
Najee Harris, running back, first round. I think the Steelers will target him. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a minute. Haven't seen you in a while. Obviously, you can see we don't got Harry with us today, but the show will continue nonetheless. Man, we got a lot to talk about. We missed the past 2 weeks. So much has happened with West Virginia, with the Penguins getting COVID sidelined for 2 weeks. The Steelers, the last game looked terrible. Every game I think we said this is the worst game we've seen. But the big story, what we got to start with is, of course, Big Ben saying Monday against Cleveland is most likely his last home game as a Steeler. And he's also said he won't play for anyone but the Steelers. So it's probably his last game. It sounds like he's going to retire. He has this thing where he refuses to speak in absolutes. But it seems like this is it, guys, which is kind of crazy to think about because, I've been seeing the tweets for a lot of you. Big Ben has been the only Steeler quarterback you've ever known. I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I'm old enough to remember a time before Ben. Like I was in the, when I was a kid, Cordell Stewart era. So, and Cordell Stewart was good. That team, unfortunately, never got it done. I felt like we were close a few years. But other than Cordell Stewart, growing up, it was like a mix of, quarterbacks that never really panned out. We had Tommy Maddox for a couple of years. So Ben came in and he was like the superhero for the Steelers when I was a kid. And a lot of you, he's the only quarterback you've ever known. So it's kind of crazy. Like, I'm not, I think it's time for him to retire. I think he should have retired last year, maybe with Pouncey at the end of the season. But it's still sad. It's still sad. And I'm not blaming him. Like, I think a lot of people have come around. A lot of people blamed him early for the Steelers' troubles, but it's not. He's been good. He's been solid. He's not what he used to be. He can't move like he used to. But, there's so many problems with this team right now. And we've talked about it every week. The line looks worse every week somehow. The season started, they look bad. It looked like they were getting better. And then the last 5 weeks, they've hard tanked. They've been worse. So I don't know what happened there. It looked like they were improving. And then they just didn't. They stopped and they got way worse. They might be worse than when the season started now. And Ben's frustrated. You can see it every play. But it's still sad. So Monday night, Cleveland Browns might be Big Ben's last home game as a Steeler. The next week, the Ravens could be his last game. Now, I said before the season started that the Browns would not beat the Steelers this season. So far, we're 1-0. We play them Monday night. Now, seeing this Steelers team play over the past few weeks, my bet seems very foolish. But Big Ben on Monday night at home, and what he says is his last game at home as a Steeler, I wouldn't bet any money against that. Any money against that. I know this team is bad, but I got to believe deep inside they're going to pull it out for Ben. And I know Ben will play his butt off. So it'll be a tough one. It'll be close, but I think the Steelers pull it off Monday night for Ben. I just can't say. This man, he loves the spotlight. He loves Monday night. He loves Sunday night games. He especially loves Monday night. I'd be shocked if they lost this game in his last game in Heinz Field. So, Big Ben, good luck to you. Salute you. Thanks for all the memories. Thanks for the Super Bowls. It's time to move on, I think, but this is still really sad. It's the end of an era. And the scary part is we don't know what's next. Yeah, we could draft. We've had a video. A lot of you came from the video of us talking about who's the Steelers' next quarterback. We've had a lot of discussions. Is it, a veteran in the game now? Is it Aaron Rodgers is flirted with the Steelers? Russell Wilson's on the move. Deshaun Watson, Tua's might be on the move. Is it Rudolph? Is it Haskins? Is it Kenny Pickett? Is it another draft pick? We don't know. That's the problem. And, I just hope maybe not in a year, in 2 years, but certainly within 3 years, I hope we find our next franchise quarterback. I hope it's not like in the era a lot of us grew up in, where it's a new quarterback every few years and there's just no one that's good enough, right? So hopefully we get that figured out. That's the scariest part is the unknown. What's happening next? But I think the Steelers got the Browns Monday night. I will put my money on that game. It's happening. One thing we should briefly mention too, I think technically, don't quote me on this. Technically, I think the Steelers may still have some kind of path to the playoffs, but it's slim to none. So I don't think it's happening. And it might not even be possible at this point. I think with the Chargers, I'm still recording it. I'm recording this Sunday night. So the Chargers are still playing right now. And I think they're blowing out Denver. So it looks like they're going to win. And if they win, I think that might be it for the Steelers. So I'm not sure, but even if not, the path is very slim and I don't see it happening, which sucks for Ben's last season, but this team's just been bad and I hope it's fixed next year. Before we get into college, briefly, we got to talk about Antonio Brown's meltdown on Sunday. Oh my gosh. Now listen, not to beat a dead bush when it's down. But a lot of people have been defending Antonio Brown this season. I think I talked about it on the show before. I've mentioned a lot of people want Antonio Brown back for some reason. And I've said I never want him back because the way he badmouthed the organization when he's done, when he left, and just his attitude, and he's kind of not. And I said I'd take Bell back because Bell, it was a contract dispute. And yeah, he was kind of a jerk about it. But, he said good things since he's left, and he wasn't really crazy or bad-mouthing the Steelers. AB left in a bad way. And a lot of you were on the AB train this season. And I don't want to say I told you so, but you don't change that type of crazy. And a lot of people feel bad for him. They say they think he has mental issues, maybe CTE or something like that. I don't think so, guys. I think it's an ego out of control. Antonio Brown's ego is so big that it's too big for anyone to control. And I think that's the issue. Does he have mental issues? I don't know, maybe. But to me, it just seems like an out of control ego. Like if he doesn't get exactly what he wants, when he wants it, he throws a fit like a 5-year-old. But yeah, so if you guys didn't see it at the Bucs game Sunday, during halftime when they were losing, he got in a little argument or he got mad at something. Evans tried to calm him down on the sideline. He didn't want nothing to do with it. He disrobed, took his pads off, took his shirt off, took him to the stands. He marched across the field during a play into the locker room. And that's it. And then Bruce Arians said he's cut. He's off the team. So that's the end of the AB saga in Tampa. It is what it is, I guess. Well, in college news, it's the end of the Doege era. And the Nicco era is now. Jarret Doege has officially entered the transfer portal. My goodness, what happened? Among other players, which we'll talk about, but this is the big one because Jarret Doege's come back. A lot of fans didn't want him back. He entered the transfer portal. And now there's fans out there saying, oh, people were too hard on Jarret Doege, this is Jarret Doege. Listen, I'm going to defend the fans for a second. We're in a weird world now with social media where everyone has a platform and everyone has semi kind of access to your favorite players. It's not like fans aren't any different than they were in the 90s or the 80s or the 70s. Fans complain about their teams when they do bad. They complain about players when they do bad. It's what fans do. And we have a right to do that. Like a lot of players, they come and play for your favorite team in college 4 years, 5 years, in the pros a couple years. Some players, like Ben, they're a whole generation. Fans, we're fans for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, sometimes 80 years, We're here for the long haul. We've seen it all. We've seen players come and go. We have a right as fans to be angry when players don't do good in our team. So all these people getting on and saying, oh, fans talk trash and fans do this and you could do this. And if you've never played, you can't do. That's stupid. That's stupid. Now listen though, I'm not talking about these crazy fans that go and send death threats to players and get in their DMs and talk shit on their family and do crazy shit. That's something else. That's mental illness. That's stupid shit. Like, that's another level. I'm not talking about that. But as a fan, we have a right to be upset when our team doesn't do well, and we have a right to be upset when players don't do well. And that's perfectly okay. Now, again, this is 2022. Now, Happy New Year, by the way. Hey, hit the subscribe. Happy New Year. I should have led with that. That's so stupid. But it's 2022. We're in this weird world where social media exists, and you're a tweet away from accessing players. Now, obviously, they don't have to read it, but a lot scroll through Twitter and they see these. So that sucks for the players. Now, to take the players' side on this, it sucks they have to see that because they do go through a lot. People have said the players care more than the fans. Is that true? I don't know. Again, fans are fans of teams for 50 years. Fans are very passionate, guys. But if the players care, I think they care just as much as the fans. I don't think it's more, but just as much. Players are going through it. They have a hard time. All players want to win. So I don't think it's fair for them. But at the same time, you can't tell fans not to be passionate about their team. So if fans want to be passionate, they have a right to, as long as you're not doing crazy stuff like sending players death threats or talking shit to them every week. Like, don't at them, right? Don't at Jared Doege and talk shit. Now, that's stupid. But if you want to get on Twitter and vent, that's the world we live in. It's just like talking to your neighbor in the 90s, what you would do. You go outside, talk to, hey, West Virginia, my God, they suck today. You talk to your neighbor, right? Same thing with social media. You vent, you go, Jared Doege again, get the O-line. Oh, it sucks. That's fine. Don't at the players. Don't tag them. You're not a tough guy. They don't care. Don't talk shit to them. That stuff's stupid. That's stupid. So I'm not defending those people. But as fans, we have a right to be angry. Jared Doege, you can say a lot. You know, I've said before, for his side, he's inherited a transitional coach. The O-line hasn't been great, but he's not a quarterback for this level. He's not. And it's not all his fault. It's kind of Neil Brown's fault because Neil Brown was a friend of his family and he brought him in here and he said, hey, come play for us. Maybe he was put in a position where he couldn't succeed. So he did his best. You can't fault him for that, but he's not the quarterback for this level, guys. And it's good that he's leaving because I don't think we could take another game. And you saw in the bowl game. Let's talk about the bowl game briefly. That bowl game, West Virginia had 3 weeks, something to prepare for it. I was hyped for it. I was excited. But at the end of the day, we saw in the bowl game exactly what we saw all season as West Virginia fans, right? Same exact thing. Defense played their ass off trying to keep us in that game. Doege didn't look good. He didn't look good. The line didn't look good. Doege didn't good. The offense didn't look good. Typical Neil Brown. He burnt, after 3 weeks to prepare, he burnt the first quarter offensive timeout. And, that's one of the things. Is it on Neil Brown? Is it Doege not understanding or misreading the plays? Because you could see what we saw all season in that game. Doege has trouble reading defenses. He doesn't read blitzes right. His awareness is not very high when he's on the field. And he was on it. I mean, we saw the sum up of the Doege era in that bowl game. So that's what it is. I don't wish him bad. I hope the best. I hope he lands somewhere where he can succeed at a team and a program that's more his speed. I hope he does a great job. But it's time to move on. And the Nicco era starts now. So that's a great thing. And two, I don't know if he left. I don't know if it was maybe Neil Brown said, hey, Nicco's the guy. Was it that? Or was it just Doege was just tired of the pressure and he knew what the fans were saying and he got tired of it? And again, that sucks for the players that have to hear this, but it's the fans' right to be mad when their teams don't do good. It just is. Fans are passionate, and that's cool to an extent. But anyways, he's leaving. The portal's been hot this week. A lot of players been leaving. A lot of players that are older graduated, weren't getting playing time. The one that hurts the most is Winston Wright is leaving, and that hurts. That sucks. I don't know why he's leaving. Boy, you hate to see him go because having him next year as a veteran presence at wide receiver would have been great for this team. And he balled out this year. He really did. I mean, he got a lot of flack for his hands the year before. He completely adjusted, man. He's been great this year. And that one hurts. I think of all the transfer portals we've seen, we'll get over it. We'll get over it. A lot of it's been hyped up more than it is. That one really hurts. So. But we'll see. I like the class coming in. We're going to have a quarterback battle this year. We got Nicco. We got Garrett Green. We got Crowder. A lot of you guys been hyping up Garrett Green and Crowder. We'll see. I think Nicco's the guy. But there's going to be a battle, and we're going to have a new quarterback next year. And that's exciting. And I'm hype about this 22 class, man. They got a good attitude on Twitter. I see a lot of them talking about how hyped they are. That hypes me up as a fan. So let's go. I don't know. What else you want to talk about West Virginia? Do we got anything else to talk about West Virginia? Go subscribe. And if you have questions, comment it down below or follow us on H&J Talk Sports. And you can send us comments there and we'll answer them on the show. Or I will, or we will. Somebody will. I don't know. But we're here. But you should subscribe. And if you did subscribe, thanks for subscribing. We appreciate it. Drop a comment below. Let us know you're a new subscriber. What do you want to hear us talk about? Because we're headed up to the off season. But one thing we do have, the Penguins are finally back. Man, one of my favorite things to do over Christmas break and New Year's is watch hockey. I love spending my Christmas break and New Year's watching hockey. Unfortunately, the Penguins have been on COVID protocol because of first of teams they were playing. I think they were supposed to play Toronto. Toronto was in COVID protocol, and then was Ottawa, and then the Penguins got hit with COVID too. So they missed 2 weeks. All the holidays, no hockey. That sucked. But they finally returned Sunday, 1 o'clock, San Jose. Man, what a game that was. Drop a like in the comments if you like that game. That was a hot game. Pittsburgh put up 6 points in the first half. I'm still in football. In the first period, San Jose battled back, made it a close game until Pittsburgh blew it open at the end of the third, and they finished winning that game 8-5. Evan Rodriguez, who's been on fire this year. And listen, I owe Evan Rodriguez an apology because I did not like EROD 2 years ago, and I felt like they kept forcing him in the top line, and he didn't work. Maybe I don't owe an apology because he didn't work back then. But whatever he's done, he's grown, and he's really good right now, and he's on fire. Not only his shot, but that boy, did you see him dangling in that game? Like he dangled 3 guys. EROD? What? So he kept it up. He had his first career hat trick, which was great. Brian Rust, his first game back from injury. He's been injured for a while. He came back, hat trick. I think he had like a 5-point game, so double hat tricks in that game. Fantastic. Pittsburgh looked good. DeSmith struggled a little bit. He's kind of had an up and down year, but it's okay. Hopefully we get Jari back from COVID protocol soon. But the Pens stay hot. It's an 8-game winning streak now for the Penguins. So they started solid without Crosby and Malkin. They kind of kept the team in it, and then they struggled. They drooped, but they've been hot lately, and they're keeping it up. Jake Gensel's on like a 14-game point streak. So it's good. And most importantly, they're getting healthy. The good thing about that COVID break is Russ got back and Gensel got back, and Malkin is like days away from playing, maybe like a week away. He's ready. He's just getting conditioned, I think. So pretty soon. And then when the guys get off the COVID protocol, I mean, in San Jose, we were missing Jeff Carter, Bluger, Kapanen. I think someone else, I can't remember, but we're missing a couple players due to COVID, Jari. So hopefully once those guys get out of protocol, Malkin will be back. We'll have the first time this season, we'll have a complete Penguins team. How about that? In January, none too soon. So that's exciting. So when they're playing good, it'll be good to see Malkin in there. I'm excited to see Malkin back, man. Malkin too, recently talking about how he wants to play, I think 3 or 4 more years. So hopefully Brian Burke and Hextall agree with that and we get him signed, because I would love to see Malkin retire. I know there's a lot of Malkin haters for some reason out there, but to me, that's silly. That man has brought he loves Pittsburgh. He loves being a Penguin. He doesn't want to play for any other team. He took a discount to play here before. Like, I don't know how people don't like Malkin. So I think Russians a lot of time get a bad rap for some reason. But hopefully Malkin stays. I would love to see Malkin retire Penguin. I think 3 more years wouldn't be bad for Malkin. So hopefully they get it done later or in the off season. I'm guessing a lot of that will depend on how he looks when he gets back, unfortunately. But he says his knees feel better than they have. So hopefully he gets back and he kills it. And the Penguins keep it up, and this team can do something special. Speaking of hockey also, unfortunately, because of COVID, the NHL has pulled their players out of the Olympics. Again, that sucks. I was really hoping to see him in the Olympics. That's the only reason I watch the Winter Olympics, is for hockey. And I know the players probably wanted to go, so that stinks. It would have been cool to see Crosby and McDavid play together in the Olympics. That would have been nasty. But yeah, that sucks. But I guess it's good for the teams. You don't risk COVID. You don't risk your players getting injured. There's always that worry a little bit. So they'll have more time to rest up too. I'm sure the NHL will probably use that week since it's empty to do makeup games. That seems like the perfect opportunity for the NHL to fit in the makeup games. So we'll see. So hopefully we don't extend the season. We get into the playoffs. Hopefully COVID chills out and everyone stays healthy and we don't mess up the season anymore. Because, man, I missed hockey over the winter break. Yeah. How about you guys? Did you miss it? I missed it. Anyways, H&J Talk Sports, your new favorite talk show for Penguins, Steelers, and West Virginia. We had a lot to talk about today, but we zoomed through it, probably because it's just me and I'm talking fast. I have no one to bounce off of, so I'm just rattling. I don't want dead air. So he burned through it today. How long even was that? I don't know. Not very long. Go follow us on social media, by the way. H&J Talk Sport, HJ, not H&J, HJ Talk Sports on Twitter, Instagram. And yeah, we're on TikTok now. Not much on there. We're just posting clips of the show for now, but we'll see if we can get that going and do something. I don't know. If you want to follow, if you're like young and want to follow us on TikTok, go do that. Tag us on TikTok and TikTok us or something. I don't know how it works, but we're on there. But follow us on social media. Over on Twitter, we chat during the games, the Penguin games, West Virginia games, Steeler games. You can chat live with us during the game. Let us know your thoughts and opinions, or send us questions you want us to answer on the show. Same thing with Instagram. You can always send us, did I say pictures? Questions. Send us questions you want us to answer on the show, or you can drop some questions in the comments. Comment down below, like, subscribe if you haven't. If you're a new subscriber, thanks for subscribing. We're happy to have you here, and Happy New Year's. I'll see you guys next week. I'm going to drop a video. We'll drop a video midweek after this Steelers-Cleveland game. So stay tuned for that. We'll have a rare midweek video to recap what happens there since it's been the last game. But other than that, we'll see you next Monday at noon. Let's go, baby.